All right, so this is the Drupal usability meeting for January 31st, 2017. And we have a bunch of topics, including the media library design we discussed last week, some new inline form errors issues, the status page redesign, and some theming stuff from Kevin. So it's a lot of stuff to work on. So what should we start with? I guess maybe inline form errors has the hardest deadline of all of those.
Yeah.
So let's start with that. Daniel?
Sure. Well, we just found out 10 minutes ago, so I was creating some new issues. And we still need to know from a product manager how bad it is or if we can fix it later. But anyhow, I think we still have to fix them sometime. First of all, we're working on details elements that need to be opened if there are errors, because otherwise people cannot see there are errors on the page. And somewhere in the issue, somebody mentioned that well, grouping elements don't open if you click, for example, on a quick link. Maybe let me share a screen, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that would be useful. Yeah.
One moment. All right. Is it visible?
Yes, it is.
All right. So let me find an example. Yeah, here's a test module. For example, here is a details element, and that's closed, and inside there are some errors, as you can see. And if this element is closed, and you click on a link, details closed. Let me see which one this text field child. It won't open. This one, yeah, it works if it's open, and it doesn't work, as you can see, if it's closed. So we just found out that issue. So I think what should happen if you click there, we should open this thing and, well, jump to it. It seems a logic fix, but I think it needs some work. And this needs, it needs some JavaScript.
Either that or Daniel, does it make sense to, like, if there are errors, to just expand everything on the form refresh? Or
yeah, what we do in the fix for this this fix in issue 2346773, that's a fix that does exactly that. So for details elements, if you submit a form and there's an error, it will open all detail elements that have problems. But for example, vertical tabs, you can only have one open at a time.
Oh shit! Right.
So yeah, that's a problem.
That's not gonna work at all.
And even for example, if somebody closes it or somehow it's closed for another reason, there's not really an indication that there's a problem inside.
Yes.
So I split up this. I split
colors or something, or I mean, not just that. We have to do something else for accessibility, like different colors plus a sad face.
So that's the second issue. I split it up in one, the functional one of we need to open things if we click on a quick link in the summary of the errors. That's, I think, a bug of inline form errors. But on the other hand, there is I just created this issue. It's really blank still. I need some screenshots. But even if inline form errors is disabled and an element is closed and there are problems inside, now nobody knows where the problem is. So it's really bad for accessibility. So if you just have a closed element, what we just saw here, details closed, or if this is a field set, for example, closed field set, nobody knows there's an error inside. So I think we have to find something to indicate for grouping elements that are closed or the child elements are invisible. Yeah, we just need to indicate there's a problem inside. So that's what is new. So we still have to think what's the impact on the stability of inline form errors. As I know, I think in core we don't really have a lot of vertical tabs anymore, or do we? Yeah, some page we do.
Not a lot. I mean, the node form is definitely the biggest problem there, because that's a very user-facing form where people are, because it's user-generated content, that's the most likely place to get errors. A lot of the other places we use vertical tabs, though, are like very deep admin settings pages, like user email templates and shit like that. I think that's all.
Well, block placement. Kevin is talking, but
block placement. I forgot about that. Yep.
Block form. They're in the they're in field UI. They're in anything that's like field UI that has a sort of a main edit page.
Yeah, in the bottom
there you
here.
go.
Yeah. So if there are errors here, but okay, nothing is required. So I don't know if you can make mistakes in here.
You could always have a contrib module that adds something there.
Yeah, node types have the same thing on them.
Would it not just be sufficient to hide, or if it's possible, to highlight the details element that is the that's the wrapper for the vertical tab label with red around it, so that the person knows, even if they don't get opened, that they know that they're.
Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion, and it could work for all wrappers that can be closed or hidden, like field sets or vertical tabs, detail elements. I don't know what we have more.
Yeah, we just need something other than color to indicate that. Like maybe the border could also become thicker or something. Just something.
Or add an asterisk after the.
Well,
asterisk
asterisk
adding an error
are required.
Oh, yeah, that's the required. Yeah.
Yep.
Underline. So yeah. Please add your suggestions to make this.
We could, use the skull emoji or something. No, I'm just kidding. Daniel, sorry. What's the issue that we need to?
The issue for indicating that there are errors on child elements is 2848507. So, but that's just general Drupal, even with inline form errors disabled. And the other one is for the summary links that should open grouping elements. If you click on a quick link, that is 2531700.
Right. Awesome. So one question I have, though, is, so these are all great bugs that you've found, and thank you very much for working on them. Where do these fall in your plan in terms of must have, could have, should have, etc.?
Yeah, it's not me that should make a decision about that, but I just added them to the meta, and I think the one of the clicking on a quick link and then it should open. I think it's not really a must-have or a blocker, because when you submit the form and there's a problem, mostly for editors it will be detail elements, and they will be opened now by when we have this 2346773 in, and that is RTBC.
I noticed that's RTBC. Should we review that on this call?
I think yes, you can.
Let me look at how big it is.
Yeah.
See what I'm getting myself in. Oh, 2.0. Yeah, we could probably do that.
So yeah,
it's got a test and everything. Go you. That's great.
Well, go everybody. A lot of people are helping.
Okay, sorry.
Last couple of days, a lot of people helped on the inline form errors. Really great.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, sprint weekend was also helpful.
Yep, cool. So I see that. Oh, sorry. Could you? Yep. Okay. So that's the last one on complete by February 1st then, and it's ready.
Well, no, there's another one. Oh, that's a should have. Yeah. For me, I don't really know the difference between must have and should have, but yeah, for the must have it is. And the should have we have one, and that's also RTBC.
Okay.
And that's the file uploads errors.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and that was really, well, I showed it a previous time, and you all saw that it was already horrible in core anyhow. So that's much better now, and well, Alex Pot is on it as well, and it's also RTBC again. But I don't know if he's too busy now to commit anything. He wrote the test himself.
Oh, he did. Oh, maybe he can't commit it then.
I don't know. Maybe you can't.
Let me
So
run
if you
it.
can look at it, it would be great.
Sure.
But yeah, all the must-haves and should-haves for February 1st are covered, are already fixed, are committed, or are RTBC.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice.
So one thing I know is that we're currently in code freeze for Alpha 1. So none of the stuff we talk about today is going to make it into Alpha 1. So just to set expectations that way. However, we have a 2-week period between Alpha 1 and Beta 1 where we are going to, or if all the core committers agree, we can selectively backport certain changes. And I think both of these would definitely, well, I mean, I have to look at them more, but at a glance, they seem like they would certainly be the kind, oh, holy crap. This other one that was like 35K, so that's a little bit of a thing.
Yeah, I think it would be great if these could get in even after Alpha 1, because these aren't even problems for inline form errors as
I know,
is.
that's
It's
the
just
thing.
for
You're
core.
just like
So
the
yeah,
poor
that's nice.
schmuck who has to like run into all the core bugs that you didn't even cause just because you're trying to utilize these APIs. So thanks
So
for
yeah,
being
if you could put it on the agenda, it would be great.
Yeah, okay. So that should have, I don't think I can commit that. That's like 35K and it's touching the file API. So that definitely feels like framework manager material.
Yeah,
But the first one, the one that's in the must-have list, I think we can take a look at that. So
great.
I don't know. I don't
So, yeah,
know. Let's jump into it now because there's other agenda items. But yeah, let's
sure.
Awesome. Awesome work, Daniel. This is fucking great. Wow. Seriously,
Yeah.
like I can't believe how far this has come in the last couple of weeks. Holy cow.
Still a lot to do, but yeah.
Yeah, but there's always more to do.
Yay. We don't have to be bored. But yeah, guys, if you can leave a reply on the styling thing with your input. So what I heard was making it red, the border red, maybe the title red, but it's not enough. So maybe bigger border.
Yeah, we just need something visual other than color because people who are colorblind won't be able to catch that out. So it's got to be something. Unfortunately, this is going to be another one of those things where it's going to become a broader discussion, probably because we're going to set this pattern once. It's going to take a place for all vertical tabs, and so there's going to be some design. So unfortunately, this is probably going to get hopefully not too terrible of bike shedding, but it does need to go through a round of bike shedding before we.
Yeah, I understand. I was anticipating that.
Cool.
But yeah, I think it's not really a blocker for inline form errors.
Great.
Okay, well that's it for me. And the other things, well, still are fixed or still the same.
Awesome. Okay, is media library next?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Emily.
Okay, I will share my screen. Okay, can everyone see?
Yep.
Okay, so this is for issue 2828538. And we discussed different card styles so that we can keep with the 7 colors and LibreCons, and also have an option to expand for some of the metadata. So here's what I have for that. This is the colors from 7, and now we have the LibreCons checkmark, and the images actually fit to the width of the card now. And this is an example of what it could look like when we have extra metadata. So it would have the chevron, and then when it's clicked, it could expand to this. So the example is the cityscape card. So I don't have the click action in yet, but that's fairly simple to do.
This already looks so much better than last time I saw it.
Yeah, this looks great.
So one thing, I was wondering what people think about the selection points. So if we want this area to expand, and also if we're going to have a lot of text here that people might want to select and copy, I think we probably shouldn't have this be the clickable area. Probably just the top image area should be clickable. But what do people think about that?
Yeah, maybe the chevron as well.
Yeah.
Well, can you go, or I can do this myself. So where it says results of the Drew ... my natural inclination would be to click those words in order to make it bigger. Is that?
Yeah, so that was, that's what I was thinking, is this text area would be clickable to expand. But then if you wanted to actually select it like this, then that would be the top area.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah, I think that, that makes sense. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I was thinking, is the selection visually apparent enough? So that, yeah, you see now a tick mark, but yeah.
Oh, you have the border and the check mark.
Ah, you have and the border. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's pretty. Yeah.
So
it's not too far off from what we actually reviewed before in the prototype that Joseph made in terms of that affordance, and I think that it tested well, and you know, there wasn't any confusion.
Okay, cool.
So do you have a sense of how this would behave if there's an actual grid of media? Yeah. Because this like expands the row in the grid.
That's
my question as well.
Yeah, so there are a couple ways. We could use the library essentially to push down the things below it, so it would keep the grid with the same margins between. Or if we didn't want to add more JavaScript, then I think it would just push down every line below it.
Actually, so you can use Flexbox with the axis set to vertical, to do that, and it doesn't require any JavaScript at all.
Yeah, that would work.
See if it's compatible with the browsers that we support.
Can I use Flexbox is pretty well covered as far as I know. I can go check.
Yeah, that should be fine. Last I was looking at it for panels layouts too. It was great for browser support.
Sure.
But if this metadata is very long, it will look funny anyhow.
Yeah, we don't want to.
Yeah, if people add a ton of metadata.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Flexbox is completely supported. The only thing it's not supported in is IE 11.
Ooh, still used a lot.
But we still support.
That's not like that's like half green. It's like partial support. It's not no.
Yeah, there's a little wonkiness, but especially for just the basic layout reformatting, I think it should be.
So this is a great prototype. You said you don't have the click event in yet, and so there's more prototyping to do. So I take it we're probably going to review this in another week and stuff like that. So what is our end goal here? We're just trying to build, and what are we looking at? This is HTML, correct? Or are you actually coding stuff for this?
Yeah, this is coded.
Oh, that's fucking great. So we have like a patch in the works?
Yeah, yeah, I could put a patch in right now based on what I have.
Wow. Okay, I got very confused because the issue I was at was called high fidelity screens based on media prototype.
Yeah, that's the backend issue for discussing the designs of the media library, and the actual implementation issue is the MVP for media library something.
Okay, so this is prototype code, so we're not concerned about coding. I'm not saying that it's not perfect already, Emily, but we're not concerned about coding standards and all that kind of stuff. We're just trying to bang some PHP code out so we can actually try this out in real life and that sort of thing. And then later, once we get this working and signed off on, okay, that's great. So like between now and next week, what's the idea is like get the click action. So when I actually select these 3 items, I am taken to the WYSIWYG and I insert them in, or like what's the next step here?
Yeah, so getting the click actions in, and then also sorting out One thing I wanted to talk about is the media type. So I moved those tabs out into this form. And so, but that's the select dropdown, which I think we decided is an MVP. But what does everyone think about that?
That seems fine to me.
Yeah, I think we just.
What can you click on that and see what is under there, like video, image, audio, or?
So this has the types of file, image, YouTube, because those are the types I have here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it would have all media types available. Yeah, so for next week, I would have the clickable set ready to go. And I don't know that there's too much to review on that if we think that all makes sense.
And
also, it's going to be part of the bigger media library patch.
Yeah,
not as a thing itself.
Guys, I'm thinking the reason why we have this expand interaction is in case we have a lot of data for each item. But how much information do we think should be there? Because if there are a lot of information for one item, it will cause problem in any case, I think, because then you will see a very large thing expand. And when there are more than one row in there, it might still be, mess up the layout a little bit. And then you see the whole thing pushed down or so. And also we have like two, because visually each item is one thing. And we have two interaction between the top part, which is for selection. The bottom part is to expand and collapse information. Yeah, I think this might be something we still need to improve. I'm not sure if you understand what I mean. So the first problem is when there are a lot of information, we might still run into trouble in here. When we have two rows, the other part is when we have a visually one element, but it has two way of playing with it. So I'm actually thinking of, we can maybe just have a very explicit button on this card, which tells you more details, and possibly use a lightbox way, just showing all the information. We can expand. Imagine that's the image. We can expand it somehow. Then we don't have, and by default, each card we only show the title of it or the very basic information in there. Then we won't have any layout issue. We can fix the height of it. Then for the rest of the information, we show it in pop-up like interaction.
Right. That's an interesting approach, and we certainly could do something like that. But the problem with designing for an open source content management system like Drupal is that we need to what we're doing here, right, is we're not necessarily designing sort of like you would design for a product or an optimal experience for a specific kind of a user. We're designing a system that needs to be able to expand and contract and be flexible to multiple different uses. So a good baseline here is to be able to have the information that's there in the cards. If if another site or module wants to implement a solution where that information gets hidden, and then they present a lightbox to show that to focus in on the specific card. We've at least given them the sort of foundational groundwork so that they can add that, they can extend it in that way. But for this particular patch, I think that might be out of scope. But if you want to code that, we'd be super excited about it.
Yeah, I wish I could.
I think we need to design for the default use case, right? The 80%. And otherwise, it's probably implemented as a view mode on media entities, I think. So you can define whatever is displayed in there through the view mode and configure that. So that I think will be configurable. So we should pick whatever information we believe is important in the media library. I'm not sure that this much information was in the original design to begin with, but maybe.
Is this part not a part of views? Like this part can't be configured? Because like I could see the default of being title last updated, who made it, is a sensible default, but there might be other, people who want to put different stuff in there. So is this particular?
We in fact did set that as the sensible default, the name, and then the time ago date, not the full long date, and then the author.
Yep.
Right, but I was asking something slightly different, which is this entire thing a view? Because if it's a view, then presumably you can add more fields or remove fields from where it says Cityscape 1 hour ago created by admin.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's
It is.
Okay. So then I guess we just have to be cognizant if someone decides to put the body field in there or something. It's
so,
gonna.
so did you follow that, Jinyu?
So yeah.
Yeah, so the user, the administrator could configure exactly what you said. They could configure it so that going into views, they could configure it so that it only shows title and nothing else. So that's
Also, a potential problem with the lightbox is that the media library itself will often show up in a modal on top of the page. Like if you want to put in something in an image field or a CK editor, you hit a button and that invokes a modal, and then like opening another modal from the modal would not be very
Modalception, yeah.
modal in a modal in a modal.
good.
So
The
that's
nested
good point.
Russian modals of inception modals. Okay, yeah. So we have to be careful about that.
Yeah, I think if we can configure the information in there, and also I think we were discussing it last time. Maybe in future we can switch between different views, like table view and cart view, like this, depending on what people are looking for. But that's something else. Yeah.
That is also something that that we get for free from views. I believe.
Yeah, we can have table views of media for sure. Yeah, if somebody wants to have that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this is awesome.
Yeah, it does.
Great.
Sweet.
Can I ask another question about this screen?
Sure.
Has there been any thoughts about all the buttons that are on the screen? I see 4, submit buttons, and I'm not really sure where I need to focus my vision. So there's one that's bright blue, but it's tinier than the others, and we have an apply for the, I guess, for the filters, and we have an apply to selected items to have an applies to the action. It's also they all are taking up a lot of real estate of.
Yeah, we discussed it last week that this filtering and action UI is horrible in Drupal and is already horrible in other places.
Okay.
And actually KJ was working on an issue to make this better, I think, for the content view, to at least like have the action as a separate visual thing, because it's very hard to distinguish between the filters and the actions even, let alone the rest of the things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is generally needs work on the Drupal admin interface. Like if you go to admin content or admin users or whatever, it's the same problem.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So that has attention.
Yeah.
It does destroy the beautiful design of the media library. Yeah, definitely. It's like there's beautiful thing in between all of those ugly buttons.
Okay, can you reference that issue somewhere so that?
I will try to look it up again. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I will. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's it for the media library.
Yeah, good job, Emily.
That's nice.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So it's just for reference. Maybe I found it. So This is the one. To improve usability of use block action form in 17. It's 2785051. And this is the content page is very similar. Like you have add content, and then you have the filters, and then you have the action, and then you have the apply button, and then you have the apply button again. And the proposal was to something more distinguishable for actions, and maybe in the future further improve it to like have something more like this, where like the action is very tied to the table, and you still have a lot of buttons, but at least like some of the things are more apparent as to what they do.
Yeah, looks great.
And this is like a first step. So I think the very first step was this, to box it up and make it look more like it's a different thing. Because there was a lot of styling issues around doing this triangle and lining it up properly and making it responsive and all those things. But if
the people who worked on Quick Edit know how to do that.
yeah. There's a lot of effort that went into this, and we kind of stopped working on it in December. So if somebody wants to pick it up, there's a lot of work in there that would be nice to make happen, because it helps every admin page, including the content admin page. So this is 2785051.
And is there a similar issue for the filters? Because now we have some inputs and we have a submit button. Is it a pattern that all the submit button is always below, or can't we just have it to the right for the input?
So there's this issue, design for filters and bulk operations, that Roy opened, I think, in May 2016.
Okay.
And he basically like just put in all the bad things in here, and he did not design anything. So he raised the issue in May, but we did not yet have the time to deal with that problem. But there's a lot of other forms that have the same problem, comments, users.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's more apparent here because the UI looks so good otherwise, other than the buttons.
Yes.
Do we have any place where we have listed these issues, these user interface issues?
Well, you can do just a filter on usability and a general issues.
Usability in general, okay.
Yeah, usability, yeah.
Yeah.
And that gets you like hundreds of issues, something. I don't know.
I tend to, when I do it, I tend to filter them by, by time, or
57 pages.
If some of them are very old.
Yeah, I know.
And they're not. Some of them only really apply to 6 or 7 or earlier versions of Drupal 8.
Yeah. Anyway, so do we want to look at status page? Angie, Christina.
That's me. Hello. Yeah. That sounds, status page is a bit of a thing. I guess we still have like 20 minutes left of this meeting, so it should be okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Yeah. I'm just doing something real quick. And that. Okay. All right. Let's see what I can do with that. I guess I'll share my screen. You guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been working on this for quite a while, and it's the topmost commented on open Drupal.org issue currently. Also in the top 10 of all time most commented on issues for Drupal core. So there's quite some feedback on the issue.
Quite some indeed. All right, so where is it? I'm obviously looking right at it.
Yeah, I think last comment was yesterday, maybe.
I'm tired enough. Really? Status
Number?
Okay. Yeah, if you got the
665790.
Okay, what was that? I'm sorry.
There it is. It's here.
Oh, it's right at the top. There we are. So I wanted to start by showing beautiful, beautiful screenshots because that's always a good way to start an issue. Although this issue does have 431 replies, so it's going to take a minute to load. I'll fire up at Simply Test Me while we're waiting. So we're in this magical time where 8.3, boy, that's still loading. There we go. Look at that. So pretty. Oh, the prettiness.
It is.
It's even pretty on mobile. Look at that shit. That is just beautiful. And I think this has been worked on by 1 million or so contributors. That's a rough estimate. Yeah, this was like one of the first community-driven initiatives that we tried. And actually, let me pull up another one for reference. So Drupal action status page. We don't need to do a whole. So this is what that page currently looks like for reference. Okay. It
looks like St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it looks like St. Patrick's Day. Yeah. I guess if you have errors, it looks a little bit more colorful. Then it'll look like.
Then it'll look like Christmas.
No, not like that. Not like this. Oh, surely there's something here. There, this. So that's what the page looks like. Things that we're trying to kind of solve with the old design is all of these look identical, but some are many more important than others. Also, it's like in preponderance of everything is okay, dude. You know, it's just like check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark. And then the things that you actually need to care about are, you know, they're easy to pick out in the list, but, you know, they're sort of buried in there. And so the great thing about the new design is that it puts the status stuff right up at the top. That's the stuff you really want to care about. Oh my God, I have 2 errors. What are those about? And then it calls the things that you need to know a lot, like whenever you're asking for support on Drupal.org or from your host or something like that. There's a lot of these things that come up that are really good to be able to tell right at a glance. And it's a lot easier, excuse me, to pick them out there than if they're buried, you know, in a lot of these table rows that all look identical. So all in all, this is a really lovely change. It also has icons, and so look at the pretty little icons. Anyway, so so I am going to attempt to install a new Drupal instance with this patch applied, so we can check out the awesome thing and view it in action. And then I began reviewing this patch yesterday because it's a huge patch. It's like 80K. But it looks like as far as I got into it, it looks like it's really nicely done. Like this, this idea of theming these things is kind of like broken out into its own element, and so we can reuse this in places other than the status page, which is really good. I can't think of anywhere in core off the top of my head we might want to do that, but just it's good that we're thinking about stuff like that. So we're gonna call this one admin design. Looks good. All right, so we're gonna go into reports, and there it is. Probably could stand up. Oh, look at how pretty that looks. Oh, it's so pretty. And it goes down to the bottom, and it tells you, oh, that's nice too. So it has the errors found at the top instead of buried in everything else. So we're not using trusted host patterns. Also, we're not using a known release, which is true. We're using a dev release.
It's great that a dev release provides sample data for everything.
Yeah, it is actually. Here's our PHP. I like that the memory limit is called out. This is fantastic. Ah, that's so good. And once again, I want to clarify that this is what it used to look like. So this would be a really sweet patch to get into 8.3 if it works. So, I'm gonna go to. Sorry, folks. I also need to fill out this credit thing. It looks like approximately every Drupal.org user has commented on this issue. Wow. So That might take some work. I definitely know that Gabor needs credit on this. I'll have to look at some of those other names. But, all right. Oh, and also I want to call out Christina. That's your name, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. Christina is sort of the design. She's the designer who came up with this concept and has been sort of following it along. And it's really important too, because oftentimes designers will sort of like drop a design in and then peace out. But you've been doing an excellent job of not only coming up with the original designs, but then revisiting them as questions came up during implementation, and always being available to answer any like, how is this supposed to work kind of questions. So I just want to call you out as like, thank you for that. That is awesome.
With incredible patience as this went through
Yes.
and iteration.
Yeah.
So bravo for that.
Seriously. All right, so we're not done yet, and I don't have Redditor, so I apologize. It's going to be a very low-key patch review. So the first thing I noticed is that we changed this pound theme to a pound type, and that's, excuse me, that's a really good change. That means that we're making it more generic so that it can be used in multiple different instances, and it's not all this logic isn't just tied to one particular callback. So here's what that looks like: a new element called status report. And here's the requirement severity and all that kind of stuff. So we do hard code the severity of like OK versus info versus whatever, but I think that that's fine because we do use that concept in a bunch of different places. So, and then that kind of standardizes it. These are just some test updates, it looks like, to ensure that like now that we don't use tables for this anymore, we use details elements. It's just making sure that's updated. Here's some CSS. It looks CSS-y to me. I'm not CSS inclined. Let's see. I do want to check for some things though, like where there are situations where we do, excuse me, things differently and like left and right. Those kind of come into play. So has this been tested in RTL language yet?
I think so, but it's a lot of comments ago.
Okay, well, let's do it real quick and just check.
Yeah.
So let's see if Angie can remember how to turn on multilingual. Well, that's not, first of all, that's not where you do it. I always forget about this little box up here.
Yeah, all you need is language.
Is that all I need? Is just that one?
That's all you need. All you need is language, and then just add like Hebrew.
Yeah. Are you change English to RTL?
Can you do that?
Yeah.
That's cool. Excuse me. Help. Languages.
I always actually try to find an RTL language.
Well, you can edit English through.
And then you do that.
I'll do that. That's fine.
Because then you need to like, visit the page in Hebrew or switch the default to Hebrew.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Now we get to find out how well I know Drupal.
Well, it's not Hebrew because you'd only enabled the language modules.
Oh, great. I didn't download it. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, hold up. That actually isn't right, is it? Because
Why?
the green should be on the left and the right.
No,
No, that's right.
that's right. It was
That's right. Oh.
The arrow was the first.
Arrow was the first.
So the arrow is on the right, yes.
Yeah, right, because that's the most important. Sorry.
Yeah.
My mistake.
Yeah.
Here, let me start getting rid of tabs I don't need anymore. Yes, okay, great. And so I'm just, sorry, flipping more to the screenshot here. Drupal version then last kern. Yeah, perfect.
Everything's flipped, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, errors found, checked. Perfect.
It always looks so funny to me. But
I know, it's so goofy.
It's different, yeah.
I feel like I'm in bizarre world. I feel like this would be a really good way to screw with someone with a Drupal site who doesn't know anything about multilingual.
Easter egg.
What happened to my website?
Yes.
All right, so good.
Awesome.
Back to what I was doing over here. Okay. So RTL looks solid. That's great. That's another just switching theme and type. I guess we did an erase syntax. In general, it's nice not to do stuff like this in amongst other changes, but it's not, it's not a deal breaker or anything. But just
Well, we renamed the type.
and then while we were there, we did.
Yeah, so we changed it.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fine. So here's that element description. I mean, I'm not going to spend too much time looking at this because it's obviously working. Oh, I see. Okay, so these are.
And
So
there's a
these
whole-
are hard coded, in other words. So it's not really possible for contrib to add a new box here. Is what I'm seeing out of this.
which I think is a good idea. to be
Probably.
honest.
I guess they could always hook form alter it if they needed to.
It's a pre-render, so they can do their own pre-render element. Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. So these are defining the defaults, and I agree with you, Kevin. I think it's good to have some things you can count on here. So
Yeah.
that all looks fine. That's just form API crap. Okay. Defining an element. Yeah. Okay. Good. UA sort probably because okay, that's fine. That's nice that we fixed that. We're getting rid of a bunch of stuff. Oh, okay, so this is all the old theme function, which we don't need anymore. I gotta think. I think that's fine to do, even though like it's a backwards compatibility break to remove an entire function. But pretty much the only reason this function exists is to pre-process something that won't exist anymore. So that's probably okay.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's using that function on their actual site.
Yeah, I would highly doubt it. And we have a whole definition somewhere of what's internal versus external APIs, and I'm pretty sure that pre-process functions would be very firmly in the, we're not expecting you to call this function from anywhere. Okay. Report page, report groups. So this is just a little bit more. Okay, yeah, just declaring the new theme functions. Okay, somewhere in here. Aha, here we go. Here's our templates. So cool. It's pretty straightforward. Is that legit? BR without a closing?
BRs don't close in HTML, but but I would still avoid using them. But I don't think it's not that bad.
Okay, we could always do a follow-up.
Sometimes there's no other way to do it.
Yeah. It's just when this stuff is getting committed to core proper, like this is going to core module system as opposed to some experimental module or something, we kind of want to make sure we get this right in one go. So I might call that out in my comment. Oh, Emily, yeah.
Yeah, looking at that, I think there are better ways to do that. So I would definitely remove the BR.
Yeah, so and there's another one down here. So what we could do is commit it anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of them though. Like there's these BRs just hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, those are going to need to go.
I don't really want to set the whole thing to needs work just for, I don't know, I probably should. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just calling that out as a thing. Because I don't know much about front-end code, but I know you're not supposed to do that. So, yeah. However, other than that, this all looks like nice semantic HTML. We got strong tags here, which is good for accessibility. You know, conditionals. All the rest of this looks very straightforward, like a good template. Emily, do you want to chime in on these selectors? Do these look okay in terms of what you'd expect in terms of flexibility with CSS and whatnot?
Yeah, that looks fine.
Okay. Okay, another one of these. Okay, I get you. So it's just looping through each one and putting them in details and summaries. It's pretty easy. And I guess we can't reuse something else that also does summaries and stuff because like we try to avoid adding new template files when we can, but I think in this case it does actually make sense because this is a very weirdly looking thing compared to
It's a very specialized UI. Yeah.
Exactly. So okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fancy. Right. So we have to do a different width based on how many. Like if there aren't any warnings, then it's just gonna be this. Yeah, that's okay. But that's nice that
that's the Twiggy logic.
We can change it if they need to.
Fancy twig logic.
So we are removing the status report HTML twig file. So what I don't know is what that's going to do. Oh, we didn't remove it. Oh, good. We didn't remove it. We just changed. Yeah, because like I worry if we out and out remove a template file from people, like I don't know what that's going to do to live sites that have it in the cache and stuff like that. But we don't have to worry about it because it's there. And basically what this is doing is changing from, it used to be in table rows and columns, and now it's in details and summaries, which is more semantic. And we get rid of the ugly background colors. It's sweet. More CSS. That looks like CSS. Anyone disagree on that? Look, oh, that's weird. I don't know what that one is.
That's for a before pseudo element. So the content, you need to put a content with nothing in it in order to add a before element where you put like a thing in it, like a background image or a, or a character.
Oh, interesting. Okay, no, I didn't know that. I learned something.
That's how icons are often done these days.
Cool. Yep, that looks pretty good. Sorry, were you trying to say something, Emily?
I think she was trying to say the same thing I was saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all I was chiming in for.
Okay. I like that we're using SVGs, good for scalability. Sorry. This is so much fun watching someone else read.
And you're only halfway down.
I know I am. Well, I'm getting there though, because anyway, a million bazillion people have reviewed this CSS markup in JavaScript in this patch, so I'm not too concerned with because Lowry signed off on it, Nod signed off on it.
Yeah.
Why did this change happen? I guess C colors as CSS. I guess because all of the color error, we no longer have
Background color.
That's coming from like the tables.css, which is kind of a level above status report. But I guess
the color of the text itself, it doesn't change. I don't think I'm not sure if it's that.
Okay, that's probably fine then. I was just thinking like if somebody was using those classes for some reason in their own custom modules tables or something, but I doubt it. Okay, that's all fine. Here's our SVGs. Whee! I want to review every single line of this. No, I'm just kidding. All right, then we have some JavaScript. That looks like JavaScript.
Why do you doubt it that people use it classes? Because I often change some of the listing in the tables to indicate stuff, to color a row in the table. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. Because the rest of this is just touching stuff that's clearly in the realm of like the system status report stuff, and that's all fine. But yeah, when you start, and like this one as well, you know what I mean? This is going to make a change to somebody's theme in real life right now.
Yeah, if someone is using those, that could be a problem.
Oh, that's 7.
This is a lot more generic than, like, there's nothing in these class names that indicates status report per se.
Why are those classes being removed? That's strange. Out of colors.css and 7 theme.
Mm-hmm.
That's very wrong.
Well, I'm guessing because they're using it for these, and they don't want the background color of the tables to also be red.
But that would be override. You would want to just override that.
Yeah,
Yes, I agree. We should override that actually.
Yeah. Okay.
But that I don't think we should be afraid of changing 7. But I agree that it's not good to change it generally for those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like here it's changing things in 7, but that's maintenance page.css, which is specifically about this, so that's fine. But yeah, so I guess the change in colors.css and the change in tables.css makes me a little nervous, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, me too.
Makes sense.
I agree.
Stuff. That looks fine. Okay. And more new stuff.
This is a big patch.
So,
Well, I mean, it's adding all kinds of stuff, you know. It's great, though. It's awesome. Oh, all right. I was like, this all looks very familiar to me. And it is, because it's now going, it's in stable. Okay, so basically it's the same stuff, just in the stable theme.
That's adding new things, right?
Is that true? Hold on. Only 2 new CSS.
If it's adding, it's okay.
Actually,
it just
well,
can't remove them.
Hold on, let's test this.
Yeah, if it's adding things to this table theme, I think that should be fine. Otherwise, how would we expand?
And is adding and overriding also okay in stable?
Wait, say that.
I don't know if it happens, but
I'm looking for a comment where Laurie and I think Joel Pitet were arguing about that, about where should these changes be in which theme, and I'm trying to find it because they were talking exactly about that.
Mm-hmm.
They arrived to an agreement, but I don't remember exactly which one.
This is a little funny. This is like the goofiest way to view Drupal. So I'm reading in RTL mode and Stark theme. So, but it is interesting that we keep the icons for these two, but not up in the main table. Little.
Yeah, it looks like those are inserted as images and the others inserted through styles.
Yeah. Anyway. However, like the bulk of the styling is definitely there. So basically, we're obviously doing this in stable theme as well, or else like this stuff wouldn't look like it does.
Yeah.
It's interesting that, yeah, that's a huge pain in the butt to have to click on every single one. But I guess Bartik, or not Bartik, 7 must be doing something different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fine. That's not our job to fix that. Those BRs again. So Emily, how much work is it to get rid of the BRs and put in whatever the proper semantic thing is instead? Is it like
so that's going to
6 hours worth of work?
It depends on the elements. So if the elements surrounding it already have classes, then it would just be adding some CSS margins. If the elements around it don't have classes wrapping them, then it would take a little longer to add those classes and add the style.
Or whatever. Everyone's watching me type. This isn't nerve-wracking at all. I can make this walk. All right, let's see. All right, so that's the first one. So unfortunately, I'm going to need work this. Sorry, guys. But it's like, these are like, I feel like this is like home stretch, oh yeah, let's clean this up kind of thing, and not like, well, let's burn all that down and start over. You know? It's like, so.
It's like you can cross your eyes and cross your T's and dot your I's.
Yes, exactly.
Mostly there.
Click on all of the various.
yes, let's add some positive things first.
Yeah, I try and always do that. Sorry, I was trying to. Yeah, okay. And also tested. Oh, and I want to do this. There. All right, that's number 0. Okay, so and then we also said there are a couple of places where the 7 CSS is, where it's like, I guess, more generic. Some CSS is being adjusted. e.g. color. CSS and this seems
Breaking BC, right?
Mhm. Since it's feasible that other themes are.
It's more than feasible. It's a fact that that other themes are sub themes of 7, admin sub themes of 7 are using those, and a lot of other places.
Yeah, and I know even some cases that just inject some classes in 7 just to make it more fancy for the client.
Yeah.
Not to mention modules reference those classes or use those classes as well.
I think those are the only 2 or 3 things.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing anything else that popped out as something that weird. Oh, one thing. Yeah. That was the other thing. So I think in Stark, the icons show in the detailed elements below the warning error icon, but not in the big icons above. I don't know how to say that.
Well, I don't know that that's really an issue. I mean, so we assume that nobody uses Stark theme as a theme, right? That they use it as a base for another theme.
I mean, Stark is just exposing what stable does, and stable is Drupal's default markup. So we do, I think, want it to be consistent because that's going to be the starting point of every theme. So okay, either we do it without any styling like this, which is fine, or we add icons, but it's weird that we do one thing up here and something different down here. Like that's odd.
Yeah, it does seem like you should add the
Let me see if I can adequately take a screenshot that shows both of these things. I don't think I can. So take 2 screenshots.
And is it correct that we have to manually open all the details below there to see what's inside?
Only in Stark. Like if I switch this back to, and I feel like that's probably that's probably what HTML does by default or something. Like I doubt that was but yeah. So if I switch this back to 7, let's do that for a second.
Well, it has an attribute. The details element has an attribute of which can be set to open or closed. And if it's been set to, it may be that the JavaScript that is being used wants the attribute to be set to closed by default so that it can take control over it and open it on page open.
Something completely different though. Like here it is formatting it as a table, even though it's details and element or details and summary.
I would say for Stark we should have a bit just, I don't know, it should just be open. Maybe we can just add an attribute.
Yeah.
I know that there was a lot of really thorny issues around getting the details summary elements to work properly with the JavaScript. So I think that might be why they have by default have the closed attribute.
So, but if somebody is creating a new admin theme, they always get a lot of work to fix this.
That's because in mobile they are closed. All of them are closed by default.
Okay.
That's why without styles, I think.
Yeah.
Is this page actually a form or what is it?
This?
No, so it's a render element, well, the complete thing, but is it also?
So they're just detailed, summary, and div.
Just plain render elements.
So I guess, I guess when they're collapsed enough, like
that's what Chris said.
Then they go to
mobile. They're open or they're closed.
That's right.
Well, hold on. Let me just go back and put Stark on again and make sure I wasn't just looking at it with a small screen or something. Oh, you know what? Stark might be just doing mobile first everywhere. That actually might be the problem, or not even the problem, but that might be what we're looking at. Yeah, because it's definitely widescreen and it's still doing that. But yeah, interesting. Anyway, I just think that's worth looking into, because if it's one line of code, which I think it should be, to just expand these all by default, I think even though it would look messy as hell, it would be a lot less like I really literally want to throw my computer through a wall clicking. So,
Right.
That might be.
Can you inspect these and what's the markup in the details elements?
Say that again.
With the markup, yeah.
It's just the details and summary.
No attribute.
Div for not enabled. The div must be the extra. Oopsie.
Yeah, that's the open attribute.
Yeah, when you click. Yeah.
Open.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, this looks great. It's just, we have a couple of things. So anything else that stood out to anyone else that I could capture in this comment? So I mentioned the fact that we tested in RTL mode, tested in Stark, this abstracts us out of an ordered zone element, which is great. Oh, yeah, there was one place where the template. We are getting rid of this template function. I think that's fine, though. I think that's okay. We're also removing a template preprocess function.
Do we at least need a change note for that, or? That's cool.
Drupal core API internal. Yes. It does even say that core themes such as Bardic and 7 are considered internal and may change. So like we probably can change the the CSS. It just doesn't, I don't see a reason to do that. Like I don't see a reason why the status page needs to dictate what colors that CSS does. You know what I mean? So public methods underscore interfaces. I don't see anything here about who. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so those are explicitly marked as internal. So I don't think. All right. Great. So I'm going to post this if there are no objections.
Okay.
Silence.
Great. Whew. What time is the next UX meeting? Is it
Tomorrow.
Is it like 11 hours from now, roughly?
Yeah, I guess so.
If we subtract 17 minutes from this, is it 11 hours from now?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I wonder if I could stay up that late and review this again. Just because, oh man, I really want this to get into 8.3. Like, I know everyone has worked so hard on it. Like, look at all the people that have worked so hard on it. It's crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And it's such a vast improvement over what we've got. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Who's leading implementation on this? Like, who's been doing the last? Chris Walkwell, I guess. And he's not here right now, right? And Leah, Nod.
I'm going to visit this page so often. Oh.
I am here. I'm taking notes.
Yeah, Chris is here.
Oh, Chris, you are here. Great.
Yep.
Did you catch any of that review?
I'm sorry?
Did you catch any of that review that we just did?
I did, yeah. I think I got all of it.
All right, awesome. Do you have any availability this afternoon or day or whatever part of the world you're in to do another round of that?
I think I can, yeah. I think I'll get started when we're done
I
here.
don't want you to kill yourself. Also, because I see you have a child, and so I don't want you to sacrifice family time for this. But if we're going to be around anyway, because I don't know for sure that I can stay up that late because it's been a rough week. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. Basically, the time frame for this is we'd have to commit it sometime in the next 2 weeks for it to have a shot at being backported. So it's not like tomorrow versus later tonight is going to make any bit of difference. Just, I just don't want it to fall back into the queue again and get lost. You know what I mean? Like, so, and I'd like to review it again sooner than next week. So,
Okay.
oh, the link. That was a good thing. I should do. But anyway, so if you can do that, let me know. Otherwise, that's fine. We also need somebody to review those changes and then RTBC it. So there's a bit of a process here, but I just would love to stay on top of it because it's like so close and it's really, really exciting.
Yeah, I'll be working on it this afternoon.
Okay, wicked. Thanks.
Great.
Well, so before we drop off, could I just I know there's no time to review this, but I would love if people, some people have already dropped off, but I would love if some people could look at the thing that I've been working on and code review it, which is I'm going to put it in Slack. It's this thing, which is basically, I'll share my screen and show you. We have this issue to style this. Can you see? Can people see this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was looking at the wrong screen.
Yeah.
So we have an issue to start this. When we did outside in, we made this just for very few things, but if we really want to have people use it for everything, it needs to be styled for everything. And so I've made basically a theme for it. So now it kind of styles for everything, and we're going to iframe, or hopefully we can iframe it in. I'd like people to kind of review my code. It's like basically every possible thing could go in this, in this area. So it's there on GitHub. I didn't make a patch out of it because it would be a huge monster-sized patch.
Whoa.
Sub-theme of 7 for adding things like this in the sidebar. But
so this is actually a different color scheme for 7, or?
It's more than a different color scheme. There's a lot that has to be done in terms of making things work. Like, for example, if we go to structure and views, in order to get, and this is still not working quite yet, in order to get views to work, like a whole crap load of like responsive stuff needs to be done to it, which is done, as you can see. But it also has the darker color scheme that we did for outside in.
Wow, that looks massive. Nice.
So
Kevin, why don't we do that for next week's, just because I still want to get to, as long as people are staying on. If you can stay on another 8 minutes. I'd love to get to Daniel's patch, since that's a gotta get in by tomorrow kind of thing.
Oh, right. I thought we were wrapping up. Sorry.
Yeah, we were wrapping up, but then I remembered I was going to review that before we got off the call. So.
Okay, sure. No problem.
You can also do it later, non-live. I don't care.
Oh, don't you want to do it live so we can do like the whole, Anyway,
okay, it's exciting.
While we were talking.
Everybody wants to stay.
So it's a really simple patch. It changes this from if not empty open to if not empty open and if not empty child errors.
Yes.
And that's a test, which is lovely. And so we're going to go ahead and get that in. For now, I'm going to just get it into 8.4 because 8.3 is in code freeze at the moment. And then we will, I'll talk to the core committers about backporting it.
When happened that actually? A couple of hours ago?
Say that again?
The code freeze. It was a couple of hours ago?
It happened at 4 a.m. my time. It was 12 a.m. GMT, I think. So, Holy crap, there's a lot of people on this. You want product manager review. What specifically do you need product manager review on?
Well, we removed it, but there was a hidden issue, and that's what we just talked about in the starting of this session about the clicking on the quick links. And well, it's a bug in inline form errors that if the grouping element is closed, then the link doesn't work. And so I think Andrew added that tag and said, okay, she needs to say how important that is.
All right, then I might not be able to commit this live because I probably.
Well, but the tag is removed. It's in follow-up.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks. Sorry, I got confused there when we were talking about that. Okay.
Yes, it was thought it was a duplicate issue. We reopened it and added the tag there.
Got it. Okay, yeah, because I was like, this does not look like it needs product manager review. It looks really straightforward, even though, wow, yep. Nice job testing in all of those. That's great. Okay, excellent. So let's get this sucker in. However, in order to get this sucker in, I need to know who to credit on here. So looks like I'm crediting Raid. He opened it, so probably yes. T.S. Tokler. Looks like he's helping with the reviews, so yep. And Gifford. He's providing encouragement, but I don't know that he's...
He's always encouraging.
He is always encouraging. I don't know. I will leave that to the peanut gallery. What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I like leaning towards giving people credit. That's usually a good way to be. Plunkett still needs tests. He did a code review. Great. So, yep. This is all the messy back. This is the behind the scenes of how core computing works. Okay, he reviewed. Okay, I'm gonna go yes with that. XJ. Under providing release manager feedback, we'll go with that. Scott. Sure.
Yes, he always helps in inline form errors.
Yeah. Okay, Haas. Did some testing. Screenshots, that's actually super helpful. That one I'm going to copy and paste. All right, so he's testing as well. Light key. What is happening here? There we go. Sweet. Adding more details to the bug report. That's excellent. Clean. I think about it. Okay. They both are adding more things.
Yeah, he tested, right? The Arun Kamark. I don't know how to pronounce.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to credit everybody. Nobody in here who was like jonesing for credit, so I think I'm just going to credit everyone. Wow, look at that. That's quite a bit of stuff. All right. Oh, wait, I forgot to put an actual comment. That's fine. Tentatively. All right. Now I should be able to go down here and get my crazy git command with all of the names. Right? And let me just double check what branch I'm on. Good. Push. Yay! Way to go, Daniel. And everyone. Actually, not just Daniel, like 500 people. Way to go, 500 people. Oh, shoot. Somehow he didn't check his name. Sorry about that. Yeah. I did after the call. All right. And then I want to move this to 8.3. And then, yeah, that's it. Woo! We're done.
Great. Nice wrap up.
That's awesome. Anyway, thanks for hanging on an extra half hour, everyone. Have a good rest of your day, and maybe we'll talk in the middle of the night. I'll see you next week, okay?
Yes, going to bed now. Bye.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.